Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Joonas Keskinen, the program manager of Art Testers, and I work at the Association of Finnish Children's Cultural Centers. Before I start my presentation, we're gonna have the world premiere of Art Testers trailer, which I just received 10 minutes to 2, so I haven't seen it myself. So I'm not sure if it's the final version because I haven't approved it yet. But I'm going to show it to you, and this is a film that's... The reason we made this is that we want 8th graders and the secondary school students to know what is Art Testers and start expecting it. And when they go and take part in our program, they would know better what they're taking part in, because based on our surveys, they really don't know what they're doing. So, I'm quite excited about this. Is the sound on? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, thank you. That was the Finnish version. There will be a Swedish version and an English version as well, but as said, the deadline was yesterday, but this happens to me as well, so I'm not blaming anyone. I have to also tell that the director of the film called me in the morning when we were making it. He called me like 7:30 in the morning and told that his wife had gotten a positive result on the COVID-19 test, and he stayed in the car for 10 hours and gave instructions from there to the technical crew. So it's okay that they are a bit late. Let's see, where's my presentation? It should be here. It's this, no. It was here before. Yep. So, Art Testers. I try to be brief. I have a gazillion slides, but I try to be as brief as possible. So, I'm here to tell you about Art Testers program, which is the biggest and only national culture education program in Finland, and it's coordinated by the aforementioned Association of Finnish Children's Cultural Centers, and it's funded by 2 private foundations, the Finnish Cultural Foundation and Swedish Cultural Foundation in Finland, and since 2020 also by the state, the Ministry of Education and Culture, which at the moment funds about 1/3 of our budget. So how it all began. First, there were a lot of thoughts that came up in the minds of the people working at the Finnish Cultural Foundation headquarters in Helsinki. And since I wasn't there, I'm not sure what they were actually thinking or what was their core idea originally. But I know that they were thinking that Finland is turning 100 years in 2017, and the foundation's base capital was collected by school children in 1938, so the foundation wanted to give something back to the children. They had already done smaller projects before, but in 2016, after doing some research that showed that, for example, only 10% of Finnish schools organize art trips, they decided that they want to go, like, put all in and go all the way. And so Art Testers was born. It started in 2016. Basically, we started operating 2007 academic year, 2017-2018, and it was supposed to run only till 2020. It was supposed to be a 3-year project, but we're still up and running, and we're trying to make this a permanent, publicly funded part of the Finnish school curriculum. But anyway, the original plan was to offer almost 200,000 students and their teachers trips to art attractions or art institutions all around Finland. The Finnish Culture Fund asked Swedish Culture Fund and the Association of Finnish Children's Cultural Centers along, and so we started working. During the first 3 years, we took all Finnish 8th graders for 2 visits. One to a local art institution, like in their own region, and another one to Helsinki, to the capital, and mainly to national art institutions, which are all there. Since March 2020, we haven't been doing this, partly because of COVID, but also because of limited funding. But I strongly believe that in the future, sooner or later, we are gonna go back and make some kind of comeback or return to this model of offering these trips to the capital as well. Not necessarily to all, because we have to work on that a little bit, because sometimes it doesn't make sense to travel 12 hours to see a concert and then travel 12 hours back. So we need to develop that a little bit. We cover the tickets and, of course, the transportation costs, which are a huge part of our expenses. So what happens during these visits? We have, they travel, the school groups travel to opera, dance, theater, concert, visual arts exhibition, or circus, and it's mostly what one would call like high culture. We are not working with popular culture. We try to take the youth to see something that they wouldn't traditionally see. And we also want to offer them something extra, which could be meeting the artists or sneak peeks behind the stage or even workshops where they make their own art. And in addition to this, we work with the art institutions and schools to create pedagogical material that the teachers can use at the school to prepare for the visit. And also during the visit, some pedagogical material or some this kind of educational work is usually done, and also back at school to reflect on the experiences. The whole point of this is trying to make art altogether more approachable and feel more sort of easy going and relaxed altogether. And it can be like a terrifying thing for a person to go to theater for the first time. Like, if you don't know what is expected of you, what you are supposed to do there, like are you allowed to speak? How do you need to dress? All this is new for many 8th graders, which are 14 to 15-year-olds. And for us adults, it's sometimes, and like for us, because we work in the field of arts and culture, it's hard to imagine that it can be so scary and terrifying. So as mentioned, Art Testers is the largest cultural education program in Finland. And it was actually a surprise that we really reach the whole age group every year. We were expecting to get like maybe 70% or something like that, but it's been 100. We have one school in Finland of the 800 upper schools that hasn't taken part ever. It's a private school in Helsinki. The number is like about 60,000 students and 5,000 teachers per academic year. And we, for example, this academic year offered 2 trips to everyone. So that's about 140,000 trips. Plus, we also got permission to organize a trip for current 9th graders that missed the trip last year due to COVID. So this year, if everything goes well, we are going to organize 190,000 art trips. But what makes art testers? Who are testing and what is the outcome of this testing? We are interested in what you think, what they want, what speaks to them, and how can we, together with the art institutions around Finland, develop more high-quality content that's appealing for the youth. For this, we have created a browser-based app where all the art testers, the 8th graders, can give feedback and review their experiences with the art. And they are openly available at the art testers website, taidetestaajat.fi. This shows some of the results that we've gotten, but there's a lot more. It's in Finnish, English, and Swedish, so also our international guests can see what the Finnish 8th graders think. Currently, we have 135,000 reviews. And it's a lot of data that needs processing before I can tell you what is exactly what interests the 8th graders. But what I can tell you is that talent and skill is one thing that they appreciate. And they also like this kind of cheerful comedy things. But that's not a surprise, I think. Well, now we're here in Lahti, in the environmental capital of Europe at the moment. And I really, really think that this sustainable development in all areas of life that's the most important thing at the moment. All in all, arts and culture field and art testers as part of it is at the core of sustainability and sustainable development in many ways. I strongly believe that in addition to scientific data and this kind of facts and knowledge, also emotional and aesthetic experiences are important in creating better understanding of others, empathy, and in the end, better future. Giving equal access to arts and culture removes inequality, of course, because we are removing inequality. However, as we are moving tens of thousands or almost 200,000 people, transportation is something that we really need to think and how it affects on things. I must say that the schools themselves have said that traveling and learning traveling skills and expanding the sort of habitat of the youth is one goal that they really wait from art testers. It's not necessarily even the art content. It might be the traveling itself that's also important in many ways. And since we're doing it, it's not possible to travel completely emission-free nowadays. But we will try our best at it. For example, we require the bus companies to use as modern and ecological vehicles or buses as possible. The problem is, all in all, that the car fleet in Finland is old, and for it to be renewed, we need others as well, not only us, to demand this. And we also need political willpower to change the thing, because it's expensive. Businesses can't afford to buy more ecological cars. Since March 2020, there's been no flights, of course, since there's been no trips to Helsinki. But already during the first 3 years, we were able to decrease the amount of flights almost 40% from where it started, by starting organizing trips so that they fly one way and they take the night train back. And also offering schools the possibility to say that they don't want to use airplane or flight. Our primary method of transport should be, and often has been, train. But also with that we have a capacity problem in Finland, and the fact that the Eastern Finland and North especially, the railway network in Finland is not that good. But all in all, the matter is important, and we will do our best in creating a better future and trying to make it as ecologically as possible. Thank you.